my name's Suzanne and I have a charity and a business for stopping domestic violence. I'm also a healer, and I've also been through a lot of trauma. And so today I've got some information from a book from the book Trauma and Recovery, which I've read and I found really helpful for trauma victims. So this is from the section on commonality. So here's some of the sections from the chapter that I think are really important. Okay, traumatic events destroy the sustaining bonds between individual and community. Those who have survived learn that their sense of self, of worth, of humanity depends upon a feeling of connection to others. The solidarity of a group provides the strongest protection against terror and despair, the strongest antidote to traumatic experiences. Trauma isolates, the group recreates the sense of belonging. Trauma shames and stigmatizes, the group bears witness and affirms. Trauma degrades the victim, the group excels her. Trauma dehumanizes the victim, the group restores her humanity. It can be her or him. Repeatedly, in the testimony of survivors, there comes a moment when a sense of connection is restored by another person's unaffected display of generosity. Something in herself or himself that the victim believes to be irreversibly destroyed. Faith, decency, courage is reawakened by an example of common altruism, mirrored in the actions of others. The survivor recognizes and reclaims a lost part of herself. At the moment, the survivor begins to rejoice the human commonality. The restoration of social bonds begins with the discovery that one is not alone. Nowhere in this experience more immediate, powerful, or convincing than in a group. A therapeutic impact of universality is especially profound for people who have felt isolated by shameful secrets, because traumatized people feel so alienated by their experience. Survivor groups have a special place in the recovery process. Such groups afford a degree of support and understanding that is simply not available to the survivor's ordinary social environment. The encounter with others who have undergone similar trials dissolves feelings of isolation, shame, and stigma. Groups have proved invaluable for survivors of extreme situation, including combat, rape, political persecution, battering, and childhood abuse. Participants repeatedly describe their solace in simply being present with another who have endured similar ordeals. Since Vietnam, I'd never had a friend. This is what a victim has said. I have never had a friend. I had a lot of acquaintances. I knew a lot of women, but I never really had a friend. Someone I could call at 4 a.m. in the morning and say, I feel like putting a gun to my mouth because it's the anniversary of what happened to me. Vietnam vets are misunderstood, and it takes another Vietnam vet to understand us. These guys perfectly understood when I started to talk about certain things in my past and experience. I felt an overwhelming relief from this. It was like a deep, dark secret that had never been told to anyone before was now released. An incest survivor uses almost the same language to describe how she regained a feeling of connection to other people by participating in a group setting. I've broken through the isolation which had plagued me all of my life. I now have a group of women and men who support me, who I have no secrets from. For the first time in my life, I really belong to something. I feel accepted for what I really am, not the facade that I carry. When groups develop cohesion and intimacy, a complex mirroring process comes into play. As each participant extends herself to others, she becomes more capable of receiving the gifts that others have to offer. The tolerance, compassion, and the love she grants to others begin to rebound upon herself. Through this type of mutually enhancing interaction can take place in any relationship. It occurs most powerfully in the context of a group. With the group, there is a spiral of group acceptance, which increases each member's self-esteem, and each member in turn becomes more accepting towards others. And here is what some victims have said from the group experience. I look to the group experience as a turning point in my life. I remember the shock of recognition when I realized that the strength I so readily saw in the other woman who have survived this violation was also within me. I am more protective of myself. I seem softer. I allow myself to be happy sometimes. All of this is the result of seeing my reflection in the mirror from the group. I am better able to take in the love of others and see this in the cycle, and allowing me to be more loving to myself and then also to others. Groups provide the possibility not only of mutually rewarding relationships, but also of collective empowerment. Group members approach one another as peers and equals, for each is suffering and in need of help. Each also has something to contribute. The group requisitions and nurtures the strength of each of its members. As a result, the group as a whole has a capacity to bear and integrate traumatic experiences that is greater than that of any individual member, and each member can draw upon the shared resources of the group to foster her own integration. In one community survey, women escaping from battered relationships rated women's groups as the most effective of all sources of help. And there's also different groups that you can go to, and there's different groups that can be helpful at different times. So you need to be in the right group for the stage of survival that you're in. So I just thought that was helpful because it's very profound. And I know I've found a lot of help from different groups that I've been in. So that's for anyone who's got any kind of trauma. I just thought that was important to share that information. And if you like this video, you can push the like button, and you can also subscribe to our channel and share the video. Thank you very much. Bye.